Welcome to Norristown's Roosevelt Field and tonight's game between the Phoenixville Phantoms and the Norristown Eagles. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joseph Highland, and we'll be bringing you tonight's game between two evenly matched high school football teams. My broadcast partner, Coach Tom McGee, will not be with us tonight, so I'll be flying solo, and we'll all miss Coach McGee's knowledge and humor and expertise. However, we will try to muddle through as best we can. I think sometimes the best broadcasts are those where the commentators say the least. Rather, they let the game speak for itself. Be that as it may, it's playoff time in the high school football season. Unfortunately, neither of these two teams will be enjoying themselves in the PIAA postseason. Two once proud programs have been having their troubles. Both programs have fallen on hard times. Phoenixville, a member of the Pac-10 Conference, comes into this game a disappointing 2-7, but squeezed out a surprising 14-7 win last week over Pregame Valley. The Norristown Eagles, of course, come into the game a very disappointing 1-9, having been blown away last week by Hatboro Horsham to the tune of 35-7. There was a time, ladies and gentlemen, that such things simply did not happen. Norristown's scheduled opponent for tonight's game had been Upper Merion. However, the Vikings, having made the playoffs, are playing this evening at powerful Strathaven. Naturally, we wish the Vikings and Coach Andy Toto the very best against one of the best AAA schools in the state. So it's my understanding that both these teams this evening needed an opponent, and fortunately they linked up here at Roosevelt Field. Hopefully, during the broadcast, we'll be able to talk a little bit about what the Eagles need to turn this program around. I have some ideas myself, and we'll pass them on for what they may be worth. There are some definite bright spots in the Norristown football program. However, there are some glaring and extremely apparent weaknesses as well. Tonight, it's my understanding, is Norristown's homecoming game, a yearly ritual which honors the team, the cheerleaders, the band, the support staffs, and the general student body in a special way. There will be, presumably, a homecoming king and a homecoming queen at her court, and it is always a very nice time. It's a high school tradition that goes back for generations. Back to the football game, Phoenixville is led by two very good running backs in Travis Ford Bay and Ron Streets. These two young men have combined for over 800 yards rushing. I look for the Phantoms to go with their running game this evening, as their quarterback, Bill Shirk, has not been the most consistent of signal callers, having thrown 8 interceptions and with a completion average of only 34%. Last week, against a very tough Perk Valley defense, Phoenixville churned out 331 rushing yards. So I expect the Phantoms to keep the ball on the ground this evening. On defense, the Phoenixville defense limited Pregame Valley to a mere 82 yards on offense. As for the Eagles, it's no secret that Coach Smith's team has been struggling. I cannot remember a Norristown team ever being 1-9 at this stage of the season. It may have happened once, but I don't recall. The Eagles will be quarterbacked by sophomore Jerry Donalfi, who, considering his age, he's only a sophomore, has demonstrated remarkable poise and maturity. He has been filling in for the injured Greg Bird, and it will be interesting to see these two young men battling for the starting position next year. We have some ideas along those lines, and we may be talking about them as the game goes along. Norristown's most potent offensive threat continues to be Rob Coleman, who has gained almost 700 yards on 141 carries, which is a lusty 5 yards per carry. Another young man that we hope to see this evening is sophomore running back Darmon Pierce, a 245-pound fullback, a sophomore whose attitude and aggressiveness has impressed this observer. At this time of the season when teams have losing records, it comes down to simple pride. Neither team is playing for anything in the postseason, so it comes down to which team wants this game more. The prognosticators have picked the Eagles to overcome the Phantoms, and I hope that they are right. In any event, it should be a competitive, evenly matched game. That wraps up our pregame presentation. We will be returning for the coin toss and the opening kickoff in just one moment. Thank you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Roosevelt Field for tonight's game between the Norristown Eagles and the Phoenixville Phantoms. It is a beautiful night for high school football. We are directing your attention to the center of the field and the coin toss. Benny Lafredo for the Eagles and number 73, Kevin Waters, the respective captains. The Phoenixville captains are John Kranak, Marty Navia, Michael Detra, and Bill Blyler. It appears that Phoenixville has won the toss and will elect to receive. They will be proceeding west to east with Norristown defending the east goal. Now will you all please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
Reporting for the first time, the Norristown Area High School Army JROTC will present our national colors as we honor our nation with the Star-Spangled Banner.
The colors will be presented by the newly formed Norristown Junior ROTC program.
My favorite.
That was a very fine rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner by the Norristown High School Marching Band. Well done. The way it should be played. Simple and elegant. Tonight's officials for tonight's game are Dan O'Connell will serve as the referee, Paul Walzak, the umpire, Bob Geis, the head linesman, Dave Spielhofer, the line judge, and John Robinson, the back judge. Phoenixville will be moving from our left to our right. Norristown defending the east goal. Giacomo Stabile will be kicking off for the Eagles.
Number 22. Graham Conway. Kicking off for Norristown is Giacomo Bill, number 41.
We're ready to go. A squib kick picked up at about the 35-yard line by number 84. That's Michael Detra, a two-way performer for the Phoenixville Phantoms. The Phantoms are coached by Bill Furlong, a native of New Jersey who played his college ball up the road here at Ursinus College. Billy Consolo is the center. Shirk is the quarterback. In the shotgun. Ball, there's a pass to number 4. That's Ron Street, the flanker. He caught the ball, lost the ball upon contact with the ground. However, a fumble cannot be caused by contact with the ground. So it'll be Phoenixville's ball, a gain of about 25-yard line, 25 yards. The ball presently the Norristown 30. Phoenixville runs out of the power I. Shirk over the ball. They shift to the left. Hand off to number 24. That's Travis Ford Bay, another of the Phantoms' two-way performers. On defense, Ford Bay plays linebacker. So at the end of tonight's proceedings, Mr. Ford Bay will be a very tired young man. Second down, 7 yards to go. Ball in the Norristown 27-yard line. Shirk over the ball. Phoenixville in the power I. They shift to the right. There's a handoff inside to Travis Ford Bay. Picks up about 3 yards. It'll be third down and 4. Third and 5, big play for the Eagles defense. Detra in motion. It's a handoff to Ford Bay. Cracks down to about the 20-yard line, close to a first down. It is a first down. First down, 10 yards to go from the Norristown 20. Another handoff to Ford Bay. Squirts through for about 8. Excellent blocking up front by Consolo and Billy Blyler. 72 out of the game is Sean Mayer for the Eagles.
Come on, defense!
There's an inside handoff. Picked up maybe a yard. It's third down, 2 yards to go. Ball at the Eagles' 22-yard line. Cranack and Ford Bay. Shirk rolls to his left, looks for a receiver, overthrows the ball, threw it into West Norton Township. It'll be fourth down and 2 yards to go. Interesting to see what the Phantoms will do here. It's 4 down territory. They're going to go for it. Big play for the Eagles defense. There it looked like they did a shift and they drew the Eagles off sides. Officials are consulting. Offside Eagles. Costly penalty. That'll give the Phantoms a first down around the 17-yard line of the Norristown Eagles. First and goal at the 7. Phoenixville did a clever little shift there and drew the left side of the Eagles defense offside. Cranack and Ford Bay in the backfield. Handoff to Ford Bay. Bangs his way to about the 5-yard line where he stopped by the middle of the Eagles defense. It'll be second down and goal from the 5. Second and 5. Here's Shirk. They shift to the left. There's a pitch to number 4, Ron Street. Touchdown. Ron Street. Number 4, Ron Street. He's a senior, a 5'11", 165-pound halfback. Ronnie Street skirts the left end and walks in untouched. Phantom 6, Norristown nothing. The extra point will be attempted by Tommy Stoltz, number 23. Out of the hold of Martin Navia. Nice snap, nice placement. The ball is blocked. The kick is blocked. The kick is blocked. Excellent defensive play by the Eagles. The score remains 6-0. Not an ominous start, not a very auspicious start for the Eagles defense. It was a short squib kick. The Phantoms got excellent field position. A first down, first play pass to Streets, set up the drive. They pushed it down on the ground till around the 5, gave it to Streets again, who skirted left end for the first touchdown of tonight's game. Rondell Hartman deep for the Eagles. The kicker will be Tom Stoltz, who is booming them in practice. All right, Stoltz will hit it at the 40. Nice end-over-end kick. Dropped, goes into the end zone on its own momentum. Tony Bright missed a kickoff. The ball's momentum carried it into the end zone. It'll be an automatic touchback. The Eagles will take over at their own 20-yard line. Jerry Dinolfi, the sophomore quarterback, heading the Eagles. Single back is Robbie Coleman. Norristown in a double wing. There's a pitch to number 4. That's Rondell Hartman around the right side for about 3 yards. Rondell Hartman, number 4. Robbie Coleman is number 2. Bruce Minnick is number 7. Picked up of about 3. It'll be second and 7. Nice pet. Oh, number 7. Bruce Minnick. Well thrown ball. Minnick has got to come up with that catch. Nice soft pass. Dinolfi led his receiver perfectly. Got to make that play. Minnick, Coleman, and Donalfi in the backfield. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Hartman in motion. Ball knocked down by number 84 for the Phantoms. That's Michael Detra. It's 3 and out for the Eagles. It'll be 4th down and 7 yards to go. Stabile into punt. That drop by Bruce Minnick hurt the Eagles' drive a little bit. He had the 1st down. Here's Giacomo Stabile. He'll hit it around the 15-yard line. Nice end over end, nice kick. Picked up by number 4. That's Ron Streets. Tackle made by number 44, Andy Witter. In speaking with Coach Furlong before the game, he indicated that Streets is probably the best all-round athlete on the Phoenixville team. He's gotten some feelers from Division II and Division III schools. Phoenixville out of the power I, ball on the Norristown 45-yard line. Inside handoff to Ford Bay, bangs his way for about 7 yards. He's a tough runner. He complements Streets very well. Ford Bay's a load at 220 pounds. He's a big boy. Again, Phoenixville out of the power I, 2nd and 3. There's Ford Bay dragging people with him, pushes it across the Norristown 35-yard line, close to a 1st down, and I think he has it. 6-0 Phoenixville, 5 minutes, 47 seconds left to play. It is a 1st down. It appears that Phoenixville has the classic Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside combination. Ford Bay with driving power up the middle and Street a dancer on the outside. 1st and 10, Shirk back to throw. Short drop. Out to 84. That's Michael Detra. Second down, 3 yards to go. Little hitch pattern. Picked up 7. Nicely thrown ball. Again, Phoenixville runs out of the power I. Ford Bay. Again, dragging people with him. Picked up a tough 3 yards. In on the tackle for the Eagles, number 33, Tayron Flagg. They're going to give Ford Bay a breather, along with 84, Mike Detra. Shirk looks to the sidelines for the play. 3rd down, 1 yard to go. Big play, Norristown shifts, or I'm sorry, Phoenixville shifts to the left. There's a clever little inside handoff off a double, almost like a wing T play. The wingback came in motion. Quarterback slipped him the ball. 1st and 10. Ball on the Norristown 20-yard line. Phoenixville is threatening again. Eagles need a stop here. Eagles need a defensive stop. Ford Bay back in. Shirk over the ball. Ford Bay again. Stutter steps. Falls forward to about the 15-yard line. Ford Bay is chewing up real estate 5 yards at a crack. Norristown's going to have to do something to control that young man. And they want to talk about it. They want to think about it. They want to talk about it. How they're going to handle this number 24, who's running like a Mack truck. That's what's been happening to the Eagles this year. They've fallen behind early, and those early scores by the opponents seem to take the wind out of the Eagles' sails. And again, Phoenixville is at the 15-yard line, 2nd and 6. Phoenixville's not a very big squad. They don't have many players on the squad. Maybe about 30, 35 players on the entire squad. In speaking with Coach Furlong before the game, he told me that despite his record at 2-7, he's very proud of his team. They haven't quit, and from what he said, the Phantoms winning 2 games this is the first time they've won 2 games in 5 years, and he's confident that the program is turning itself around. Cranack and Ford Bay in the backfield. There's Cranack, bangs ahead for about 5 yards. John Cranack. He's a senior, 175-pound senior. Ron Street's out of the game temporarily. I'm sure he'll be back. There's a handoff inside to Ford Bay. Batters his way close to the inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line of Norristown. Second down and 3 yards to go. Phoenixville is threatening again. You know, I have a feeling who's going to get the ball. It's number 24. There's that tricky little shift again. Norristown adjusts. Shirk over the ball. It's a handoff inside to Cranack again. Cranack, no gain. The Eagles were stiffened on defense. It'll be 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Big play for the Eagles. Though, big 2 plays coming up for the Eagles, because if Phoenixville doesn't score a touchdown on this play, they're in 4-down territory. Guarantee they'll go for the score with 4th and goal. Shirk bobbled the ball and was pulled down by Lafredo. Benny Lafredo, he was on Shirk like a cat. When Shirk bobbled the ball, Lafredo shot the gap and pulled down the Phoenixville quarterback. Shirk is only a sophomore. He has two touchdown passes this year against 8 interceptions. He's completed only 34% of his passes, but he's hit twice this evening. Both times to Ron Streets. First on a quick hitch pattern, second on a post. Matter of fact, his opening pass to Streets got the Phantoms off to a very, very good start. Picked up about 25 yards on that play. All right, it's 4th down and 4 yards to go. Phoenixville wants talking it over. I got to think they got to give it to number 24. That's Travis Ford Bay. 1:03 left to play in the first half. Phoenixville up 6. All right, here come the Phantoms. Big play for the Eagles. They're going to go for a field goal. The kicking team is out. Stoltz will hit it at about the 11, so it'll be a 21-yard kick. Watch the fake. Nice snap. Good kick. And it's good. It's good. Ron Stoltz punched it through. Makes the score Phoenixville 9, Norristown nothing. That's surprising. I was surprised to see the kicking team out, considering the way Ford Bay has been chewing up Norristown real estate. As we mentioned in the pregame, my partner, who's usually here, Coach Tom McGee, is not here tonight. And as we mentioned in the pregame, we miss his quips and his commentaries. All right. Stoltz will kick off. Number 4, deep for the Eagles, is Rondell Hartman.
Number 4, Rondell Hartman.
All right. Here's Stoltz. He'll hit it at the 40. Nice kick. Nice kick. Hartman will take it at the 5, to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Almost broken. Excellent run back by Rondell Hartman. Only had to beat one man. Excellent return by the young man, Rondell Hartman. Number 4, 5'10", 175-pound junior, Rondell Hartman. Excellent wedge blocking by the Norristown special teams up front. And the young man almost broke it. Almost broke it. Ball on the 45-yard line. Norristown in a double wing. Here's Dinolfi over the ball. Hartman in motion. Here's Darmon Pierce. Bangs ahead for 5 yards. Darmon the Diesel. I've said this before on some of our prior broadcasts. I like the way the young man plays the game. A hard running, a pounder. He wears the kind of a young man, a kind of a runner that wears a defense out. 2nd and 5. Number 4, Rondell Hartman into the line, maybe a yard. Maybe a yard. Rob Coleman, the Eagles' leading rusher. I do not see him in the game. All right, the Eagles, that's the end of the first quarter with the score Phoenixville 9, Norristown 0. Phoenixville set the tone for this game with its opening play. A post pattern to Ron Streets, gained about 30 yards, took the wind out of the Eagles' sails. After that opening pass play, they simply gave the ball to number 24, Travis Ford Bay, who pounded the Eagles' defense down to about the 5-yard line. Until Ronnie Streets darted around the left side for the first Phoenixville score. Norristown went 3 and out. Phoenixville again advanced deep into Eagles territory. And Ron Stoltz kicked a 21-yard field goal. Here's Dinolfi, 3rd and 5. Rondell Hartman in motion. There's a inside handoff to Kenny Witter. moving as a wingback. A nice play. Nice play. Nice faking by Donalfi. Excellent run by Kenny Witter. Excellent blocking by the front of the Norristown offensive line. Franny Rodenbach, Vinny Whipple, and Danny Barbish. Nice play. Nicely executed play by the Eagles. Here's Donalfi. Pearson, Hartman in the back. Here's Hartman slashing up the middle for about 7 tough yards. The Norristown offensive line is off the ball very quickly. 2 well-executed plays. All right, you got Kenny Witter spread wide to the left. Bruce Minnick in the slot. Norristown in a power I. There's a handoff inside to Darmon Pierce. Darmon Pierce gets close to the first down. Depending on the spot, it is a first down. Norristown putting together a nice little drive here. Ball on the Phantoms' 30-yard line. We'll find out. We'll try to find out why Rob Coleman isn't in the lineup or isn't on the sidelines, from what I can see. Here's Norristown in the power I. Hartman stopped at the line of scrimmage, squirms ahead for about 5 yards. Nice run by Hartman. Nice second effort by the junior halfback. Looked like that play was stopped for no gain, but he twisted and turned for about 4 yards. Here's Donalfi. There's a handoff to Pierce. Pierce won't be denied. Took 7 Phoenixville players to bring down the young man. A 240-pound sophomore. A world of potential there. Just a world of potential. 3rd down and 1 yard to go. 3rd and 1, big play for the Norristown offense. There's a pitch to Rondell Hartman, sweeping left. Cuts back. He's down to about the 5-yard line. Rondell Hartman on a power sweep to the left. A very nice bit of running. He waited for his interference to form. When they took out their respective men, he made his cut inside. Pushed the ball down to about the 7-yard line where it's 1st and goal. Norristown in a wing right. Handoff to Hartman. Down to about the 2-yard line. Rondell Hartman running hard. The Norristown offensive line opening nice holes. Second down, 3 yards to go from, 2nd and goal. 8.5 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Norristown down 9. Single back is Hartman. Stopped, hit at the line of scrimmage, inches his way toward the goal line, down to about the 1. All right, it's 3rd down and 2. Not to second guess the Norristown signal calling, but I'd look to number 45 here. Here's Donalfi, swarmed under. I don't know about that play calling. You're down at the 2, and you have a powerful fullback and a running back. Why? I don't know why you would call a pass play, but that's why I'm up here, and that's why the coach is down there. The 2 Norristown running backs, Hartman and Pierce, were hot. They were moving the ball. Norristown's going to have to settle for a field goal from about the 14-yard line. That'll be a 24-yard kick. Nice snap. Ball is blocked. It'll be picked up by Phoenixville. Number 21 is John Cranack, a very versatile player. Blocked the ball, almost broke it. Had he gone all the way, that would have broken the Eagles' back.
That's what he means, that ball's alive.
All right, Phoenixville dodges a bullet. Norristown misses another opportunity. Ball exactly on the Phoenixville 35-yard line. That's got to be very, very disappointing. You have 45 there. I don't understand it. There's a fumble. Looks like the Eagles have recovered. The Eagles have recovered. Shirk dropped the ball, fumbled the ball. I believe the person who recovered the fumble was Tyrese Barker. It was Tyrese Barker, I think. Yeah. All right, Norristown gets a break. 1st and 10 at the Phoenixville 44-yard line. Here's Denolfi over the ball. Pierce, single back. Here's Denolfi. Nice move inside. Nice scramble by the youngster. Picked up about 4 yards. Picked up 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. 6 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the second quarter. All right, they have 45 in the backfield. Hartman in motion. Denolfi back to throw. Witter came up with the ball. Kenny Witter, a brilliant, brilliant catch. He out-jumped and out-fought the defensive secondary for that ball. An excellent play by Kenny Witter. Just a super play. Kenny's 6'2", 185 pounds. Rangy and fast. Excellent reception by the young man. All right, first down and goal at the 6. Hartman in motion. Inside handoff to Witter again. There's that counter play. Didn't work this time.
Witter stopped up that time. Brian Conway hit on it. Along with number 21,
All right, you have Pierce in the backfield again, along with Denolfi. Hartman in motion. Here's Pierce. They stopped him there. Number 84 on the tackle is Mike Detra, another one of Phoenixville's two-way performers. All right, 3rd and 7.
Come on.
4.5 minutes left to play in the second period. The Eagles have to capitalize on this opportunity. Hartman again in motion. Pitch to Hartman around the right side. Bangs down to about the 5-yard line.
Hartman on the kick. Picks up the field. 4th down to 3. Coming up.
All right, 4th down and 5 yards to go. I wish my colleague Tom McGee were here. He'd venture a guess as to what the Eagles are going to do. I look for Donofrio to put it in the air. I may be wrong, but I look for him to put it in the air. 4th and 5, big play for the Eagles. Just a big play. Jerry's dragged down around the 4-yard line. And another Norristown offensive thrust goes a sputtering.
There was nothing in the middle. He's going to pick it up and see that quick slant.
All right, a very disappointing series of downs there. It'll be Phoenixville's ball inside the 5-yard line. I don't know, fans, 1st and goal from the 6, I give it to 45 4 straight times. All right, here's John Kranak off tackle for about 2 yards.
Looks like Mark Davis is ahead on that spot.
Second and 7 for the Phantoms. 3 minutes left to play in the 2nd period. Ford Bay, the single, the tailback in the eye. Here's Ford Bay. Burrows his way for about 6 yards. Brought down by Benny Lafredo. Third down, 2 yards to go. It would be nice to see the Eagles defense stop this play. They'd get very good field position on a punt. There's Ford Bay. Breaks a number of tackles, squirts out to about the 28-yard line. Excellent trap blocking up front by Justin Gable and Jimmy Cresswell, who I understand is the nephew of John Cresswell, a former head basketball coach at Norristown. Spoke to the young man briefly before the game. Phoenixville gets a 1st down. 1.5 minutes left to play. Here's Shirk on a quarterback draw. Doesn't get anything. Maybe 2. Maybe a yard or 2. 1.5 minutes left to play in the 1st half. Phoenixville up 9. I wouldn't be surprised to see Phoenixville be content to run out the clock with maybe 2 running plays, but we'll see. There's Shirk going for the air. Overthrew his man. That's number 4, Ron Streets. Nicely thrown ball by the sophomore quarterback. Streets almost pulled it down. Streets can play a little bit. Plays defense. He's the flanker, wingback. Probably the finest athlete on the Phoenixville squad, according to his coach, Billy Furlong. Here's a handoff to Kranak. Norristown calls timeout to stop the clock with 39 seconds, 36. Should have had about 5 seconds. All right, 33 seconds left to play. 4th and 8. Phoenixville will kick the ball. That will be Brennan Pancott. All right.
You said 39. 39 seconds.
39 seconds?
Yes, sir. 39.
Tell them to chop it in because it'll take me a minute to get it down.
Hey, you can get the official. Tommy said he's going to drop it in because it took him a minute to get it down. Tell him he's going to drop it in because it's going to take.
All right, here's. Here's Brennan Pancott. Kenny Witter back. Single safety for the Eagles.
He'll keep it on the field. He said, never mind, the official will keep it on the field.
Oh, look at this play. Look at this. Oh, my heavens. Here's number 40. That's number 44. That's number 44. Number 44, Ronnie Paulson. A very clever play. They snapped the ball to the up back, and number 44, Ron Paulson, was wide open over the middle, wide open, and rambled for about 45 yards. 33 seconds left to play. Phoenixville threatening Norristown, threatening to score here, down to about the 17-yard line. All right, 22 seconds left to play. This is a big series for the Eagles. They must stop the Phantoms. There's Shirk. Nice play. A late flag. A late flag. It looked like they're going to call interference. Looked like they're going to call interference. On
19 seconds on that clock. 19 seconds.
All right, there's some confusion here with the timing system. All right, there's an official's timeout. They're gonna straighten all this out. All right, there's a penalty on Norristown.
12.
All right, the ball will be placed at about the 8-yard line of Norristown. 12 seconds left to play. Boy, the Phantoms simply fooled Norristown on that punt.
Guys throwing a flag and he didn't throw it.
Everything is a bit muddled right now, fans, but it looks like after they shake everything out, it'll be the Phantoms ball, first and goal at the Norristown 7-yard line. 12 seconds left to play. What a beautiful night it is for high school football. We have a nice turnout, certainly better than average here for a homecoming. There will be the homecoming celebration at halftime. The number of vehicles, maybe 8-10 vehicles, are parked down to our left. All right, here are the Phantoms. First and goal at the 7. Shirk over the ball. Streets the power back in the eye. Pitch to Streets around the right side. Makes one move. Excellent play by the Norristown defensive secondary. That was Kenny Witter. Big defensive play by the young man, by the junior. 1 second left to play, 2nd and 4. One second left. This could be the most important play of the game, because if Phoenixville goes up with a third score, it'll be 16-0. And the way the Norristown offense is, if truth be told, is sputtering, the Eagles cannot let the Phantoms score this touchdown. They got to keep them out. They've got to keep them out. Here's Streets, and they stop them. They stop them. Like the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae, the Norristown defense came up big and stopped Ronnie Streets from breaking this game open. All right, that'll end the first half with the score: the Phoenixville Phantoms 9, the Norristown Eagles 0. All right, that was not the end of the first half. That was that's the longest 1 second I've ever seen. All right, here's Stoltz. Tommy Stoltz will hit the ball at the 15. It'll be a 25-yard placement. And he's stopped. He faked field goal. He's stopped. All right, that will end the first half. What a confusing, muddling end to the first half of this football game. The score: Phoenixville 9, Norristown nothing. And we're going to try to find out what happened to cause all this confusion at the end of the first half. Norristown wasted 2 excellent scoring opportunities with, in my opinion, questionable play calling. And we'll see if the Eagles have the resilience to come back in the second half. They're only down 9. That's 2 scores, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires in the second half. Again, we're going to have the homecoming celebration, and we'll be back with the second half of tonight's game right after this.
homecoming court, comprised of the members of the class of 2004. To your right is Miss Drea Ball Myers, being escorted by Mr. Jeremy Butler. Next is Miss Mary Cabral, being escorted by Mr. Gabriel Van Armen. To your left, Miss Annie Coffin, and our escort, Mr. Mike Rawley. Miss Portia Bryan, and our escort, Mr. Richard Wills. Miss Lindsay Brady, being escorted by Mr. Ricky Mancini. And last, Miss Jordan Bandy, being escorted by Mr. Monteith Perkins. With us here this evening are the homecoming king and queen from the class of 2003. Homecoming king, Mr. David Watson. And last year's queen, Ms. Sheree Perkins. And now, I would like to introduce to you the homecoming king from the class of 2004, Mr. Ricky Mancini. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the homecoming queen for 2003 from the class of 2004, Miss Drea Ball Myers.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second half of tonight's game between the Norristown Eagles and the Phoenixville Phantoms. Phoenixville is up 9-0. We're going to open the second half in just a moment. You know, sometimes it may appear that I and or my broadcast partners are perhaps overly critical of the Eagles, and perhaps we are at times, but it's because we want to see them win. We also have to call them as we see them. We hope the Eagles do well, and because successful athletic teams bring pride to a community. And I guarantee you, if the Eagles manage to turn this program around, you will see these stands fill up like a rain barrel in a summer storm. We can all remember the days when Norristown High School used to pack the stadium, and it would be wonderful to see that again. However, if we do see a lack of effort or questionable play calling, poor tackling, an absence of concentration, it's necessary, I think, for us to point those things out. We don't do any good service by simply serving as a cheerleader for the program. But again, everybody in this booth, everybody on this table, want to see the Eagles win. Here's a pooch punch. That's number 73, downing the ball. That's Kevin Waters, alertly jumping on that ball. We had a very nice halftime presentation, a very enthusiastic homecoming crowd. The kids were into it. It was nice to see. Here's Norristown's ball on their own 36-yard line. D'Onofrio over the ball. Eagles in a power I. Here's Hartman, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Rondell Hartman. Second down, 9 yards to go. Pierce, single man in the backfield. Hartman in motion. Pitch to Hartman around the right side. Nice block by Pierce to clear the way. Picks up about 6 yards. It'll be 3rd and 3. All right, big play for the Eagles. 3rd down. Looks like about 5. D'Onofrio rolling to his left. Hits his receiver. That's Minnick. That's Bruce Minnick. A nice pass from Jerry D'Onofrio. Rolling to his left, throwing across his body. Not an easy pass to complete. But again, he hit his runner in stride. First down for the Eagles, right at midfield. Norristown in the power I. Witter flank wide to the right. Here's Rondell Hartman, thrown to the ground by number 44.
Come on and fly.
44 is Ron Paulson. 44 is Ron Paulson. He was the young man who caught that pass off the fake punt to end the first half. Phoenixville up 9-0, Norristown with a 2nd and 14. Hartman lost 4 on that play. D'Onofrio's going to have to put it up. He does. Here's a pass over the middle. Complete to number 17, Kenny Witter. Takes a lot of courage for a receiver to go over the middle, laying his body out, sacrificing himself to catch the ball, knowing that there are all kinds of dangers around him. in the form of defensive backs and linebackers, ready, willing, and able to cut the receiver in half. Nice pass by Donalfi. 3rd and 4. Donalfi rolling to his right. Oh, throws behind the runner, intended for Minnick. Threw behind the intended receiver. It'll be 4th and 4. Norristown's going to have to kick. All right, back to receive the punt for Phoenixville is the versatile Ronnie Streets, a 5'11", 165-pound junior. I'm sorry, he's a senior. He's in 12th grade. Low snap. Stabile. Nice kick. Gets a Phoenixville bounce. The ball dies around the 14-yard line of Phoenixville. That's where the Phantoms will take over with 8 minutes, 54 seconds left in the 3rd period. Norristown continues to remain in striking distance. This game is not over by any stretch. It's also a battle, I would note, of 2 sophomore quarterbacks in Billy Shirk and Jerry Donalfi. Here's Phoenixville. They go into that shift to the right. Here's an inside handoff to, I can't make that out. That's Travis Ford Bay, the Phantoms' workhorse. He picked up 3. Kranak and Ford Bay in the backfield. Pancost in motion. Here's a handoff to Ford Bay. Bangs out about 8 yards, and I think enough for a Phoenixville first down. If he didn't get it, he's just short. Third and very, very short. Less than a yard. Again, Phoenixville comes out on that power I. Streets in the slot. Here's a handoff to Ford Bay. Bulls his way for another 6 yards. It'll be a Phoenixville first down. I'm sorry, that wasn't Ford Bay, that was Ronnie Streets, demonstrating impressive inside power. We've seen him catch the ball, we've seen him go outside, and now we've seen him pound the middle. Here's Shirk. Shirk back to pass. Little out pattern to number 44. That's Ron Paulson. Difficult pass to catch. Very short distance. The ball was thrown very hard around Paulson's shin bones. Very difficult catch to make. 2nd and 10. There's Ford Bay carrying tacklers with him for about 6 yards. Number 33 on the stop for the Eagles is Terran Flagg. 3rd and 4. Eagles need a big play here. Got to stop the Phantoms here. Phoenixville shifts. There's Ford Bay into the line for a first down. His forward progress carried him past the flag, I believe. He's going to get a favorable spot. It'll be first down for the Phantoms.
In our stop, we'll pick up the first down yardage.
Phoenixville going to power football, smash mouth football, taking it directly to the Eagles. There's Shirk. Number 21, Johnny Kranak, stopped for a very, very short gain. It'll be 2nd and 9. Here come the Phantoms, go into that shift. Ford Bay in the backfield. Shirk keeps it, squirts ahead for about 8 yards on a quarterback keeper. Fake to Ford Bay. The Norristown defense, the Norristown defensive linebackers, they react quickly, but they reacted toward the man to whom Shirk faked, which is a natural thing because Ford Bay's been chewing up the Eagles. And after a very deft fake, Shirk skidded around right end for about 7 yards. It's 3rd and 3. Here's Kranak. Poor tackling by the Eagles. They had him stopped at the line of scrimmage. Kranak kept his legs moving and spurted ahead for about 5 yards. It'll be a first down. All right, the ball now on the Eagles' 46-yard line. Phoenixville on one of those long, tiring, grinding drives. They have the running backs to do it. Here's Shirk. There's a pitch wide to Kranak around right end. Kranak picks up about 5 yards. The Phoenixville offensive line of Consolo, Blyler, Odenthal, the versatile Kevin West, and Ben Picca are starting to blow huge holes in the Norristown defensive front. 2nd and 5. There's a handoff to Streets. Bounces outside for about 4 yards before he's pushed out of bounds. There was nothing inside, so Streets ran to daylight. Outside, picked up 4 yards, moved the sticks, and it's another first down for the Phantoms. 3 minutes, 23 seconds left to play. Phoenixville in the power eye. They've been in that formation all night. There's a handoff to Streets. Nice tackle. Nice tackle by number 52, Dan Barbish.
Number 52, Dan Barbish in on that stop. 2nd and 9.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Ball on the Eagles' 32-yard line. Here's a handoff to Ford Bay. Hit after a gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5. Eagle is down on the play. All right, we can't see who the injured Eagle is. Norristown trainer Kevin Quinn out there to do his usual fine job. It is Kevin Quinn, right? The Norristown trainer? What's the trainer's name? Is it Flynn or Flynn? Flynn. Okay. Kevin? Dennis. I'm sorry, I mispronounced the trainer's name. It's Dennis Flynn. All right, the injured player was Dan Barbish, number 52. He'll be coming out of the game. He came off on his own power. Third down, 5 yards to go. There's a nice defensive play by number 62, James Powell.
Number 62. James Powell was in on that.
That was a nice play. Smelled that out, brought the runner down. It'll be 4th down and 6 yards to go. Phoenixville's in 4-down territory. Big play for the Eagles here. Big play for the Eagles defense. They got to come up big. Watch out for Paulson. He caught the ball, but he's short of the first down. Number 44, that's who it was. It was Ron Paulson. But caught the ball. Nice catch, but he was short of the first down. Eagles will take over on downs on a nice defensive stop, a nice defensive series. However, Phoenixville chewed up about 7.5 minutes on that drive. All right, timeout, Eagles. They called timeout. They may need that timeout in the 4th quarter. Anyway, Norristown burns its first timeout of the second half. They will have the ball on their own 25-yard line. They are down 9 points. Phoenixville scored an early touchdown by Ronnie Streets on a sweep around the left end. The extra point was blocked by the Eagles defense. When the 2 series later, Phoenixville pushed the ball deep into Eagles territory, where Tom Stoltz kicked a 21-yard field goal, and that constitutes the scoring in tonight's game, 9-0. First down, Eagles at their own 25-yard line. Hartman and Pierce in the backfield. Denolfi, nice pass. Nice pass to number 85. Number 85 is not on our roster. The young man by the name of Harrington. Nice pass by Denolfi. All right, first and 10 yards for the Eagles. Hartman in motion. Fumble. There's a fumble. We don't know who came up with the ball. Official timeout. They're going to sort this thing out. Norristown recovered. All right, Norristown recovered. 2nd and 10. You know, it would be very nice to see the Eagles win this game and carry that momentum over into next week's game against their traditional and bitter arch rival, Plymouth Whitemarsh. If the Eagles can pull off a win this evening, that would go a long way toward that end. Here's Denolfi smothered by the on-rushing Phoenixville defense. Number 44, that's Mr. Paulson, the ubiquitous Mr. Paulson. He's everywhere, offense and defense. A constant thorn in the Eagles' side this evening. Paulson's playing a whale of a game. And that ends the third quarter. A quickly played third quarter. Both teams kept the ball on the ground. Incomplete passes stopped the clock. Running football, smash mouth football does not. And Phoenixville burned about 7.5 to 8 minutes on that one drive, that one long punishing drive, until the Eagles stopped them deep in the Eagles' territory. It has to be difficult to keep a team focused when they're 1-9, and all credit to Coach Smith for doing that. It seems that the Eagles are in this game. They're scrapping tonight. They're fighting hard, and that's to Coach Smith's credit and to the credit of his excellent coaching staff. It has to be hard to keep young men's interest when they're 1-9, but that coaching staff has apparently done it, and that's to their credit. One of the more troubling aspects about this team this season, it seems that the Eagles run out of gas deep into the game. And this is the time when you have to suck it up. You got to reach down. 3rd and 13. Big play for Denolfi. There's Witter on a hitch. Witter, first down. Kenny Witter, a nice play, a nice pass. Nice play. We have to remember, fans of Norristown football, that this Eagles team is a relatively young team. A lot of underclassmen are seeing a lot of time, and that bodes well for the Eagles' future. Jerry Denolfi is only a sophomore, and here's a young man who has hit 5 straight passes. Kenny Witter will be back next year. Darmon Pierce will be back next year. Rondell Hartman will be back next year. They lose Rob Coleman. He's a senior, but again, he is not. He's not suited up, or we haven't seen him all evening. Here's a handoff to Hartman. There's a fumble. Phoenixville recovers. A jarring tackle popped that ball loose. Number 86 recovered for Phoenixville. That's Brendan Pancott. Whenever it seems the Eagles get some momentum going, they shoot themselves in the foot. An errant pass, a bobbled football, untimely penalty. But again, as we were saying, this is a relatively young squad, and a lot of the stalwarts here will be back next year. And Coach Smith will have a whole year to get his second team ready. Here's Shirk. Here's a screen pass to Streets. A lot of open field running ahead of him. It looks like almost broke it. Again, Kenny Witter. Again, Kenny Witter in an excellent defensive play. Pushed it down to about the 28-yard line. There is a flag on the play. That all may be for naught. Eagles caught a break on that play. Offensive holding on Phoenixville. This has been a very cleanly played, well-played game. There haven't been that many penalties, which is nice to see, which is indicative of excellent coaching on both sides of the ball. Just good, hard-fought. It's a good, hard-fought high school football game on a beautiful November evening under the lights here at Roosevelt Field. There's another flag. It is, a matter of fact, fans, we just got the official notice. It is 55 degrees here at Roosevelt Field. That information compliments of our excellent cameraman, Sam Galbraith, who does a terrific job not only on the football games but on the Norristown basketball game. All right, here's Phoenixville. First down and 20 yards to go. Very tricky play. It looked like Ford Bay into the line for about, well, maybe a half a yard. We're into the fourth quarter now. 10 minutes, 57 seconds left to play. Eagles need a turnover and a quick score. Second down, 17 yards to go. Here's Billy Shirk, who's played a nice game himself. There's a fumble in the backfield. I believe Phoenixville recovered. Yes, they did. That would have been nice for the Eagles. Shirk back to pass. Ferocious Eagles rush, and they got him. They got him. That's number 56, Jason Boykins. A ferocious Eagles rush smothered the Phoenixville quarterback, forcing the Phantoms to kick. Brendan Pancott will hit the ball at about his own 31-yard line. Back to receive for the Eagles is Kenny Witter. Witter will let it bounce, kick sideways, and it'll be down at the Eagles' 25-yard line. All right, it'll be the Eagles' ball, first and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Less than 10 minutes left to play in this game. The fans are staying around watching the game. It's nice to see so many fans here. It really is. And a well-behaved crowd. Watching a number of young men put it on the line. Here's Rondell Hartman. Pounds for about 3 yards. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. those boys out there in the blue uniforms and in the purple and white uniforms, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of heart to be out there putting it on the line. Football is a violent contact sport. There's pain involved, there's effort involved. And for those boys to go out there and put their bodies on the line says something for these young men. Oh, Jerry D'Onofrio is swarmed under by number 44. That's that Paulson, Ronnie Paulson, playing a whale of a game on defense. He has the dirtiest uniform out there, and I can see why. He's been all over this field. 3rd down and 15 yards to go. Not the best position for a young quarterback to be in, because Phoenixville knows that he's going to have to go to the air. And they're going to come after him. They're going to pull their ears back, and they're going to go after Jerry. Huh? Here's Hartman. I don't know about that call. I think one of the most important things that Norristown should be considering is their physical condition. Physical conditioning these days is a year-round absolute in Quad A high school football. Lots of time you need to spend in the weight room. 12 months a year. Here's Stabile to punt. Average punt. Skitters sideways. It's down by the Eagles at their own 47-yard line. It's my understanding that with regard to weight training, you can weight train all year round. The only PIAA rule about it is that you cannot make weight training sessions mandatory. But the players themselves are free to work out 12 months a year. And it only stands to reason. A 190-pound football player who's been working out is matched up against a 190-pound football player who hasn't been working out. The first man is going to take the second man every time. Sometimes this season we've seen the Eagles simply being out-muscled, being manhandled, being pushed around, and that's not a nice thing to see. I do know that the premier football programs in the area, the youngsters weight train year-round. And it shows. I maintain, and I have always maintained, that there is a ton of talent in Norristown. As much talent as North Penn. It's simply a matter of developing a commitment to excellence, as North Penn has developed. And Norristown can do exactly the same thing. Here's Street skittering inside for about 7 yards, 8 yards. And a commitment to excellence in football, in any sport, in any endeavor, comes down to one thing: hard work. All right, it's 2nd and 2. Phoenixville's ball, 6 minutes left to play. Phoenixville in that power I. They shift to the right. Here's a handoff to Ford Bay. Eagles stop them short of the first down. Number 45 for the Eagles in on that stop is Darmon Pierce.
Jaden Wilkins along with Pierce in on the stop. Third and 4 yards.
All right, they actually lost a yard. It's 3rd and 2. This could be the play of the game right here, fans. If Phoenixville gets another first down, that does not bode well for the Eagles. Here's Fort Bay, dives for the first down. Just propelled himself like a rocket. Picked up the first down. There are a number of things that the Eagles can do, I think, to turn this program around. And I think they will turn this program around. We don't like to broadcast these games. I should say that we have more fun broadcasting the games when the Eagles are triumphant. This is not a happy time for Coach McGee or myself having to call these games when the Eagles are losing as they are, but I think they can do a number of things. Number one, again, the physical conditioning, the weight training. They have to approach that with discipline and self-sacrifice. They have to work out. They have to make themselves stronger, quicker, faster. Here's Cranack, punches ahead for about 5 yards. Physical conditioning, very, very important. And you just look at Strathaven, you just look at North Penn, and you realize what 44, 45, 46 superbly conditioned young men can do. That is, they win football games. 3rd and 5, 3 minutes and 33 seconds left to play. Here's a pitch to Fort Bay. Rambles around the right side, bangs ahead for about 3 yards. Another thing that the Eagles have to do is the players have to keep academically eligible, keep up their grades, not only for the purpose of playing football, for the purpose of the real world. Believe me, in a couple of years, these young men are going to be applying for jobs, and the personnel manager isn't going to ask them how many touchdowns they scored against Phoenixville. He's going to ask them how they did in math, how they did in English, how they did in biology. Those are the things that count. Here's a direct snap to Fort Bay. Almost like an old-fashioned single wing, a direct snap to the tailback. A third thing that the Eagles have to do, the players have to keep themselves eligible by not misbehaving, by staying away from suspensions. Too many times this year, the team has been denied the services of one of the players due to disciplinary problems. You may be the best football player, running back or linebacker or offensive lineman to come around since Jim Thorpe, but no college recruiter is going to give an athlete a second glance if that young person, young male athlete or young female athlete, has poor grades or who constitutes a disruptive presence. The competition for scholarships is ferocious. And if a college recruiter has the choice between a great linebacker with A grades and a great linebacker with C grades, who's the recruiter going to pick? And a college scholarship these days is worth $100,000. And again, the competition for those slots is ferocious. So the recruiters and the coaches have to be selective in where they give these scholarships. And they want not only fine athletes, but they want fine people. And if if a recruiter or a college scout sees that a young man has been suspended 2 or 3 times during the season for disciplinary problems or academic problems, he's going to steer away. And there goes $100,000 of education right out the window. It's so important for these young men and the young women athletes to maintain excellent grades in school. All right, here it's first down. Here's Ford Bay. Boy, he's a load. He's just a punishing runner. I would not want to be tackling him for 48 minutes. Second down, 5 yards to go, 2 minutes left to play. And it looks like Norristown is going to go down to its 10th loss of this season. Minute 45. Phoenixville in that little shift. There's a fumble. Shirk falls on it. Smart play by the young sophomore. They have the game in hand right now, and they don't want to let it slip away. Norristown needs 2 scores, and the way the Norristown offense has been going this evening, that's an unlikelihood. The Eagles did have some opportunities in the first half. They were down inside the Phoenixville 10-yard line, came away with nothing on either occasion, on both occasions. 3rd and 10. Shirk keeps the ball around the left side. Bleeds a little more time off the clock. 49 seconds left to play. It'll be 4th down and 4. They will probably go for it. They're on the Eagles' 24-yard line. A punt here would make no sense whatsoever. Well, compliments to the Phoenixville team. They came in here with only 29 young men in uniform, but they stood tall here at Roosevelt Field. Kevin West played a terrific game on both sides of the ball as a lineman. Shirk called a very steady, very heady game. Ford Bay was just a monster on offense and played an excellent defensive linebacker position. Paulson was a thorn in the Eagles' side all game. Brendan Pancott and Mike Detra also were stalwarts for the Phantoms this evening. 49 seconds left to play. They're going to go for it. Here's a pitch to Street, reverse, number 22. That's number 22, Brennan Conway. They got the first down, and that will do it. Sports fans, that will do it here. For the Eagles, I think it's only fair that we point out that Kenny Witter played a magnificent game, offensively and defensively. Made some key defensive stops and made an acrobatic circus catch of a Jerry Donalfi pass. Speaking of Jerry Donalfi, he continues to improve, to show maturity, leadership, and an ability to hit his receivers in stride. Here's Ford Bay, 10 seconds left to play. Rondell Hartman had an excellent game for the Norristown Eagles, and I think, again, Darmon Pierce was not utilized enough. I think he has too much talent not to be given the ball more. So that will wrap up tonight's game from Roosevelt Field. The Eagles hung in there. Both teams hung in there. Phoenixville showed heart. Norristown showed heart. again, it was a pleasure to bring this game to you. I hope Coach McGee will be back next week to see the renewal of the Norristown PW rivalry. That will wrap up tonight's broadcast. For our cameraman, Sam Galbraith, this is Joe Hyland wishing you good night and good luck.